Hey there, Amanda here, and let's talk about easy and delicious summertime desserts. I'm talking about my blueberry cardamom galette. Galette is just a fancy word for pie dough that's been rolled out and topped with fresh fruit and baked together. Let me show you how easy and delicious it is. I'm going to show you how to make foolproof pie dough. The key to getting that flaky, buttery crust is keeping everything cold. Let's add 1.25 cups of all-purpose flour to the bowl of your food processor, just a pinch of salt, and about a tablespoon of sugar. Let's give that a quick pulse just to combine everything. And to that, I'm going to add 1 stick of cold, unsalted butter that I cubed up. And you're going to want to pulse about 10 times. And you'll know that the butter is incorporated when it's the size of peas. And to this, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of water. And let's just pulse to combine. So you'll know that your pie dough is ready when you pinch it together and it holds together. So I think it needs a little more water. I'm going to add the final tablespoon. So it started to pull away from the food processor, and when I pinch it together, it's going to stay together. I'm going to dump it on a floured surface and then make it into a ball. So I'm going to flour my surface, and then I'm going to dump the pie dough right onto my work surface. Great. And let's gently form it into a ball, and then I'm going to wrap it in plastic wrap, form it into a disc, and let it chill for about ½ an hour. So you have to work quickly with pie dough because you need to keep it cold, and then refrigerate it for about ½ an hour. So while my pie dough is chilling, let's make the filling for this galette. I've got about 4 cups of blueberries. To that, I'm going to have the zest of 1 lemon. You can just zest it right into the bowl. I love making galettes because it's a great use of fresh fruit, and since we're in the summertime, there's so many great options for fresh fruit. So you can use anything that you see at the farmer's market or at your grocery store. You could use blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, peaches, or even a mix of all of them. Just gonna squeeze this lemon straight into there. We're gonna add about 1/2 cup of sugar. Just granulated sugar is great. And a pinch of salt. Salt's really important in desserts because it really emphasizes other flavors. Give this a mix together. And then to this, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch is really what's going to kind of hold everything together. The juices inside the berries pop. Cornstarch is really going to make sure that it stays thick and creamy instead of loose. And then lastly, my secret ingredient is about 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom. Cardamom is a light and floral and lemony spice that I like to use. If you don't like cardamom, or rather you could do cinnamon or just skip it altogether. You don't want to add too much because it's pretty overpowering. So 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon is perfect. So my pie dough is chilled, let's just roll it out. So add a little bit of flour to a work surface, place the pie dough on top, and then just a little flour on top. We want to make sure that the rolling pin doesn't stick to the pie dough, and just give it a roll. So with pie dough, you never want to go over the edges of it, or else that's going to make it uneven when you roll it out. So just roll it out in the center, give it a 1/4 turn, and then continue rolling. So we want to roll it out until about 1/8 of an inch thick, and in the center we'll put a mound of the berries. This is how you get your workout, your arm workout. I like assembling on a piece of parchment because then I can just lift it up and put it on a baking sheet. At this point, you've got 2 options. You can just keep it like this, kind of rustic, with the edges that are a little craggly, but it's totally fine, it'll still be gorgeous. Or you can kind of trim it to round, and then that way you'll have smooth edges when you make your galette. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's kind of the beauty of this dessert, is that it's rustic. Okay, I'm gonna mound my blueberry mixture right in the center. You wanna make sure it stays in the center and so you can fold the galette. Spread it out, but you wanna leave that kind of couple-inch border around it, and I'll show you why. We're gonna take, starting on any side, just start to fold over the galette, and then just pleat it over the sides. And be gentle because it is pie dough and it is getting a little warm, but make any kind of design that you want. Egg wash helps it to brown when it's baking. So I've got 1 egg and just a little bit of heavy cream. With a pastry brush, just brush the outsides. I'm gonna sprinkle a little turbinado sugar. I like adding the sugar to it because it adds a little extra crunch. We rolled it out on parchment paper, and since we did that, it's really easy to transfer to a baking sheet. And I know what you're thinking. You think that I did it upside down, but I actually did it on purpose. So if you bake it upside down like this, it's easier to kind of transfer when it's finished cooking. So my galette is ready to go in the oven. I've got the oven preheated to 375, and it's gonna bake for about 45 minutes until the crust is brown and golden and the center is bubbly. My blueberry galette is done and it smells amazing. I can tell it's done because my crust is golden brown. Let's go ahead and taste it. I let it cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's another great thing about these galettes, is that you don't need to let it cool for too long. So let's taste it. It smells so good. I love blueberries, especially in the summer. They're just so perfect. They just scream summertime. The blueberries are kind of tart, the lemon zest and the cardamom work perfectly together, and that buttery, flaky crust is all I want in a dessert. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click here for more or subscribe.